Hey folks, here's day two of feeding our starter here. Um, Man, this is pungent. It smells really good. As a good starter, you can see the consistency got pretty even overall. And so what I'm going to do today is usually you discard some of this and then feed the starter to give it more ingredients for the yeast to live off of. What I'm going to do is actually take half of this off, get it into another tub, and I'm going to run the emmer grind on one of these, and then I'm going to do a rye flour with the emmer starter on the second one. And so I'm going to have a wheat starter and a rye starter. And then eventually I might end up splitting it off to a white starter as well. So what I'm going to do here is I'm getting a measurement on this, and we'll see how much starter I've got here. Okay, about 1 pound, 15.65 ounces. And so I'm going to split that in half with a spatula. I'll be right back. Alright, so I need about 7.5 ounces of the starter. Like you can see, it's just, woo! It's got like all kinds of bubbles in it from some of the yeast. And it's not really like bubbly as you consider a starter, because it's like a white starter, because there's not a lot of like thin sifted flour for it to go through. Alright, I've got about 8 ounces in there, and so what I'm going to do now is feed this one, the emmer, which I'm going to give it an equivalent amount of grain here. So another 8 ounces of grain. About the rest of that emmer wheat, and then we're going to give it another 8 ounces of water. Give that a nice stir. Get all that yeast from yesterday, stir it in with the flour and the fresh water from today, so it's got more food to live on. And we'll get some more of that awesome Hot Springs County yeast in these guys. Okay. And then I'm going to do the same with this guy. Just going to zero it out. Very important to have a good scale. It makes it a lot easier when doing stuff like this. And I'm going to use some dark rye flour here. Same thing, about equal portion, so around 8 ounces. This is a lot finer flour, so we'll see a different bubble set come up from this starting tomorrow. And I am using a lot of flour in these guys because I will end up doing large batches of bread with them, so I'll end up needing quite a bit of starter to do large batches of dough. So just add the water here. There we go. This one, you can tell, looks more like what you would expect by using commercial flours, because this one basically turned into a paste, where the other one's sort of a slurry. I'll give you guys a good example of what I mean here. So this is the rye flour starter down here, and that's using a commercial flour. Not a bad flour, just commercially ground, really fine. And then this is our emmer wheat, which we somewhat coarse ground here. You can see how it's a lot different textures. So I'm really excited to see how both of these turn out. Thanks.